difficulties. There I am. I'm sorry. Looks like I was having some technical difficulties getting on, but I am here. Hey, how you doing? I think that's Milton. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Happy Monday, everyone. I hope you all are having a good start to the week. And we are here. We are live on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. I just thank y'all so much for joining me today. And this is day 23 of my life challenge, my journey to co parenting. It's crazy that it's been this long. And you all have been with me throughout this time. And I thank you. I've gotten your comments and your feedback, and I definitely appreciate that. Don't stop giving it to me because it definitely helps me to grow. It helps me to know that that I'm on the right track. And thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Well, if you all don't know me, my name is Tiffany Newton. I'm a certified master health and life coach, and I'm in the mental health space. But I've been kind of moving over to the co parenting space to kind of go along with the mental health space because mental health is definitely close to my heart. So um, I'm really invested in emotionally healthy children. So that's what this live is all about. That's my focus because I help co parents establish and maintain healthy relationships with one another so they can raise emotionally healthy children. Hey, Amy, thank you for joining. Without experiencing long term communication issues using my child first method. Now, we've been talking about this child first method, this program that I created for the past couple of weeks now. And we've been kind of breaking down what the child first method is. And I have compared it to a vault. So, and with a vault, we know there's a combination and there are certain numbers, I guess combinations that we have to put in order to get what we want out of the vault. So, child is an acronym. So, the child is communication, which involves partnership and collaboration. It is honoring the other parent's role. It's involvement with the child, letting go of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and determining in everything to think about the child and what's in the best interest of the child together. So that is the combination for our vault. And what's inside the vault is our emotionally healthy child, as well as a healthy co parenting relationship. So today, well, yesterday we kind of touched a little bit on L, which is letting go of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And we're talking about how to let go of your ex. How are we separating our ex partner from who they are as a parent? That's what we're really digging into these next few days. And feel free if you're getting something out of, if you want to add something to it, feel free to put it in the comments as well. But today we're going to talk about, how to let go or continue to talk about how to let go, letting go of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. We are letting go of the unmet expectations, hopes, dreams, any future that we've imagined, that's associated with our ex, any and all past conflicts that may have led to our divorce or our breakup. Because these are things that are preventing us from completely moving forward in a positive way and a healthy way. Because that should be our goal, is to be healthy. And when we are healthy, we can live in peace. So, so we are going to embrace our new life. After we've let go, we're going to embrace our new life. Our new healthy life. our new hopes, our new dreams. So, in order for us to let go, we're looking forward to what we are going to embrace. So, who may be impacted by us not letting go? You know, whether or not we know it or not, it's our children. That's the primary person that is impacted by us not letting go. So they're our why. And I have some steps that I want us to use to kind of let go of any resentment and past conflicts, because those things that, like those unmet expectations, those hopes and dreams, anything that we wanted to have that we're holding on to, is really resentment and it's bitterness. So we're gonna talk about those steps to kind of let go of those things and any past conflicts that are associated with, your ex-partner. So this is going to be a little bit serious today. I'm usually a little more light, even in the midst, but this is serious. I think in order to heal, in order for us to move forward, we have to address, this and what is it that we can do to be healthy. So the first thing we're going to do is practice self-reflection. Practice self-reflection. And I did this a lot and I still do. Thank you so much for joining. And I always want to know where I am. And that's what self-reflection does. It kind of brings you into this space of self-awareness. And we have to do this in order to move forward. So let's take time, because this is something that's done. Sometimes it's not something that's done in a day or in a moment. We're going to really take time and reflect, especially considering how long you were with your partner, with your ex. It might take a while, to reflect on your feelings, to identify the root cause of that resentment, those things that you're dealing with, and you're going to actually write it down. I'm visual. And I also believe there's something powerful in us using all of our senses when we're trying to get to a healing space. So we're going to reflect on our feelings and identify the root causes of the resentment. Then we're going to write it down. And understanding your emotions and triggers is going to be the first step to healing. So we can't skip this step. So you're going to ask yourself these questions. Am I blaming them for the end of our relationship? Am I blaming them? Am I blaming myself? Because we can do that too. We can blame ourselves. Or is it both? It could be both. Wherever the root cause of resentment lies, it must be identified in order for us to move forward. So after we take time, after we've identified, where we are, we've written down everything, then we're going to move to the next step. And I'm going to spend the rest of the time on this next step today because it's that important. And that next step is forgiveness. That's a big one. Because in order for us to forgive, we have to know what we are forgiving. Right? Right? I mean, because if you don't know what you're forgiving, how are you going to forgive? So hence the self-reflection and you taking out that time to do that. So forgiveness, it doesn't mean condoning past behaviors. Mm-mm. We're not excusing anyone of what they did to us. We're not giving them a pass. That's not what we're doing. But it's about you. It's about you freeing yourself from the burden of carrying this resentment, carrying the unmet expectations, the hopes and dreams that, things that are associated with your ex. And you're choosing to be free from who your ex was to you as a partner. Thank you so much for joining and everything that's associated with that. So let's think about that. Forgiveness. It doesn't mean condoning bad behavior, but it is us freeing ourselves of the burden that we're carrying. So it's all about us. Forgiveness is all about us. It's not about the other person. Okay? So if you find this process, because I know forgiveness can be hard. So I have to put this in here. If you find yourself in this process, in whether it's self-reflection, between the self-reflection step and the forgiveness step, if you find it hard to really get through, to push to the next step, and I would even recommend, once you think you've reflected and you're ready to forgive, I would recommend going back to self-reflection just to make sure that you haven't missed anything. And it's not, I mean, it's nothing that we're in a hurry for. We're going through the process of healing, and healing takes time. But if you've gone through that and you still find it hard to forgive, whether it's yourself or your ex, I would strongly recommend, contacting me, contacting a therapist for support. And we can definitely, because sometimes there's deeper things that we have to work through. So forgiveness is very powerful, and it's a transformative process that can bring healing and freedom from all of those emotional burdens. So while the steps of forgiveness may vary, because it's going to be different for everyone, because everyone has different experiences, we're going to set up just a general framework for forgiveness. So I'll go through just these few steps in regards to forgiveness and what it takes to forgive. And this is definitely the process that we really need. This is the cornerstone of the process of letting go of your ex. And remember, we're letting them go. We're letting the partner go because they were two people to us. They held two roles in our lives. They held the role as our partner, and they held the role as our parent. The parent hasn't gone away because we have children together. So we're letting go of the partner role. And it's a process that we have to go through to do that. So the first thing we need to do is acknowledge the pain. They hurt us. And you might have tried to do that by getting somebody else, because you've been told to do that. You need to get over it, move on. Somebody else can help you deal with that pain. But most of the time when we just try to get over, or when we put it on someone else, that pain is still there. And it's just going to come out in other ways in that particular relationship. So that's why healing is so important. So we have to acknowledge the pain. And during self-reflection, there will be some emotions that will arise. And it's important for us to recognize and accept the hurt and pain that person caused us, and allow ourselves to actually feel those emotions that's associated with the experience. And remember when I was talking about how yesterday we have to come to this situation with a no judgment. We're coming to this place of acknowledgement as a place of curiosity, not a place of judgment. So we're not going to be judging ourselves during this time at all because we want to be healed. And with healing, it can cause us to experience some discomfort. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to understand the impact. We're going to understand the impact. How much did it really impact me? And this is going to take some time for us to go through these steps. Reflect on how holding on to this resentment, how has it impacted my life? How different is my life? Because you're not going to be the same person. You're not the same person that you were when you were with your partner. And you're not the same person now. And as you continue in your healing, you will continue to evolve and you will become someone else because you'll become a healthier version of yourself. That is the goal when we go through this process of forgiveness. So we have to acknowledge that forgiveness is an action that's going to free us from all of this. The next one is we have to commit to forgiveness. We have to commit to forgiveness. That means we have to make a conscious decision that we're going to forgive, whether we feel like it or not. It's a conscious decision. And we have to understand that forgiveness is an active choice and a gift that you're giving yourself. I'm sorry, Instagram. My dad was calling. I meant to put it on. Well, I did put it on Do Not Disturb, but my dad he can always reach me. Um, but forgiveness is a gift that we give ourselves, not the other person. So it doesn't matter. We're not even thinking about, the only time we're thinking about the other person is when we're doing our self-reflection because it's associated with them. But this process of healing, we're digging deep inside of ourselves. So then we're going to let it go. We're going to let go of the anger. We're going to let go of the resentment. We're going to set boundaries if we need to, because, certain circumstances are different. And sometimes we do have to set those boundaries depending on what type of relationship that we have with our ex and what space they're in health wise. Because you might not be dealing with a healthy person as well. And then we're going to actually practice self-compassion. That's part of, hey, Dorcas, how you doing? Thank you for joining. We're going to practice self-compassion. We're going to be kind and gentle with ourselves during this process. And we're going to acknowledge that forgiveness is a journey. And it's okay, that we have setbacks or conflicting emotions because that's all a part of being human. Thank you so much, Dorcas, for the butterfly. I appreciate it. I have two more as it relates to forgiveness, the steps for forgiveness. We're going to practice empowerment. We're going to recognize that forgiveness is empowering. We should be happy. Remember I told you before, yeah, we're not condoning behavior, but forgiveness is for us. It's to free us. And we're gonna take back our power. That's what we're doing. We're taking control of our lives. Because we're taking control of our emotions and we're actually taking control over our reactions, how we're actually reacting to what has happened to us. And thank you, Tony, for the butterflies. Thank you. Then we're going to offer forgiveness. This is one thing that I did in my first marriage. My first marriage, he was abusive to me, verbally and physically. And It was hard to forgive. It was hard because I had so many questions. I was questioning myself, questioning God, questioning everything, especially myself, because I felt like I put myself in that situation. But of course, that's how it is when you have become a victim of domestic violence, and that's something I don't share too much with people. But um, I'm on this live, and we're talking about forgiveness. So um, after that, after I sought God, I prayed because I'm a Christian, and He led me to a book to read, and I read that book, and that book was so freeing. It was called "Teach Me How to Love You," and I called my ex and I told him. I asked him. I said, "Would you please forgive me?" See, this was for me. This wasn't for him. It didn't matter what he said on the other line. It didn't matter, but it was freeing for me. I asked him, because this is the last time I had ever talked to him. I asked him, "Would you please forgive me for anything that I did in our marriage that I shouldn't have done?" Because I know I wasn't completely, you know, um, innocent. Yes, he was abusive, but I mean, I didn't do everything right. I wasn't perfect. So I was asking him to forgive me for those things. So if you are in a position where you can call your ex, or you can tell them in person or write a letter, do it. But I know everybody's situation is different, and some people they can't do that. But I would encourage you to at least write a letter. Write a letter to that person, to your ex, everything that you want to tell them, and forgive them. And then the last thing we're going to do, I'm almost finished. I know I'm a little bit longer than normal, but this today was so important that I had to get this out, because forgiveness is so key to our growth, our health, our freedom, our peace. But the last thing we're going to do, we're going to embrace our healing and growth. We're going to embrace it. We're going to embrace that sense of liberation that comes with forgiveness. And we're going to allow ourselves to be healed and to grow from that experience, because there are things that we should learn. That's part of the self-reflection. What is it that I learned throughout that time? What can I take from that situation that can make me better for the next one? Because I probably want another relationship. And I have my children. I want to be better for my children. So embrace that health, embrace that growth. But I still want to remind you that forgiveness is a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. But in order to start, you got to start. In order to have it, you have to start. And I want to encourage you, I have an action item for you. And please let me know if you do this, because this will be life changing for you. I told you to write down your self reflections earlier, and those who can, if you don't in person ask your ex to forgive you, if you're not in that position to do that, write the letter. So you should have two documents: the self reflection document and the forgiveness letter. I want you to destroy, after you've let it go, I want you to make a symbolization of your forgiveness. You want to destroy those documents, whether it's shredding, burning, whatever you decide to do. And I want you to release it. I want you to let them go and embrace your new life, because it's there for you. It's waiting for you. Your new life is waiting for you. I thank you all so much for joining me today and for listening. If you've learned something, if you got something from today, please, I love butterflies. Tony, thank you for the butterflies. Dorcas, thank you for the butterflies. Put some butterflies in. I want your feedback. I know this one was a little bit heavier than normal, um, but it was definitely needed. You're worth it. You're worth it. So I will see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be co-parenting. Well, I'm always co-parenting, but my boys are with my ex, and we're going to. I got to do some things for my son tomorrow, so I got a pinch hit. So I'll be a little bit later tomorrow than normal, but I will be on. So I will see you tomorrow. And if you don't follow me, I'm on Instagram at I am Tiffany D. Newton. I'm on Facebook at Tiffany D. Newton. And join the Teach Me Tribe. Check it out. Teach Me Tribe is a group of men and women. We come together in a non-judgmental space to talk about anything and everything. We have weekly events. It's pretty cool. I think so. Then we also have a YouTube channel, Teach Me Tribe. So definitely subscribe and follow us there. All of these lives are actually on YouTube as well. So you can catch up there. So again, I thank you. I love y'all. And you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.